teach at university, and that's I teach education classes. I teach like teacher ed courses. So all my students are studying to become teachers or principals. Or,
wow.
Yeah.
There's so much more to you than stand-up comedian.
Yeah, there is.
We're here to crack this story open.
Okay, cool. Oh, we're recording. Hey, we can talk. We can talk.
Are you a lot older than you look?
How old do I look, and how old
about it
was I?
yesterday in the show.
Yeah, I did. How old? I'm not going to play the guessing game because it's
annoying. You're in your 20s for sure.
In my 20s?
Wait a
You're
minute.
37?
You look like you're in your 20s.
Okay, I am 37. I'm turning 37 soon. Good memory. Good memory. How long have you guys been running the podcast?
It's fairly new.
It is fairly new.
Venture.
It's been... It feels like it's been since the beginning of the year, but we really haven't aired it until about a month or two ago.
Okay.
Or 2 months ago. I have a horrible memory.
Time,
if you haven't
anyway.
noticed.
Yeah. Out of all the sets that I've done, I would say I've probably walked off stage like maybe 3 or 4 times and been like, yeah, that was good.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you walked off of the stage.
No,
and
no,
like,
no.
Damn this.
No, I've never done that. I did that once. Once about like 6 weeks, into comedy. And I tried something, whatever. I was going through a rough time, and I tried to talk about that while making it funny, I guess. But I think it was a little too fresh. I got confrontational with the audience. I got heckled during it. I lashed back. It got ugly. I left about 3 minutes on the table. Considering it was a 5-minute set, it unraveled pretty quickly.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but I felt bad since then. I'm like, no matter how bad it gets, do your time. It took a while for me to talk about culture.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to talk about culture because the 2 things I told myself going into comedy I wouldn't do. I was like, I'm not bullying the crowd. I'm not getting, like, I'll do crowd work. I actually do that a lot. I do always like to listen to the hosts open, because I like to hear where people are from and try to tailor my set accordingly. Usually that's going to dictate the jokes that I do. But about a year in, people started asking me, like, I noticed everybody would ask me, like, are you really, like, I don't understand, you're Canadian, but you're also Arab, but you sound like you're American. And you say you have a PhD, like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, fuck it. If that's in the back of somebody's mind, right? I've got it enough times that if that's in the back of somebody's mind, it's enough to distract them from what you're actually saying. So why not address some of that? Why not explain to certain people that, hey, I'm an Arab, but I'm also kind of Christian, so that's weird to you guys. But like, I have people that have known me for 3 years or for 2 years in comedy that, still wish me a happy Ramadan. I'm like, yeah, we've known each other long enough.
You have a very kind face.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. A kind baby face. I was voted most
but kind of like there's a
face.
slight edge to you, though. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm pretty, but I'm
Tell us
not
about
too
the
pretty. I don't know. It's just, I was saying,
your
like,
edge?
tell me more. Like, somebody a few months ago was like, yo, if I can't put it in an attachment, right, I just don't want it.
Wow.
if I can't put it in an email
That's
attachment,
crazy.
I don't want it. We were just talking about like clutter and like owning shit.
All the
It's
extra
like, I just,
stuff.
yeah,
Baggage.
yeah, a little bit. So
Wow.
Minimalist.
Do you have a lot of baggage?
I do have a lot of baggage. I went from being like super minimalist to just being like, fuck it, I'm spending every dime I have and every dime I don't have on sneakers. I'd been out of school for like a year and was struggling like through a weird breakup and couldn't find a job, and just, like life was kind of felt like it was piling up a little bit, and I had to take a step back. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm chasing, like what do I really want to do? And that's what kind of I did the comedy thing, and I was like, all right, I've always wanted to talk to people about sneakers. So I had an idea for a book that I kind of just twisted a little bit, gave it like a little bit of a multimedia twist, and it ended up being a series of 12 kind of episodes. It was a weekly thing for 3 months. It was always meant to be finite, 12 episodes. I partnered up with our local sneaker boutique, Off the Hook, which would be like the equivalent of like Livestock here in Toronto, and they hosted it on their blog. So a lot of it started by, I was just interested in people's sneaker stories, because a lot of those are tied to like nostalgia, you know,
Oh.
childhood memories. You buy, you know, retros of a certain sneaker because it reminds you of a certain point in your life, or you know, a lot of people have gone to like crazy lengths to get specific pairs, and those stories always, you know, are always interesting and different. And it was dope. Like people invited us to their home space, or people invited us into their offices, which were like a second home. I mean, it's ill to see a 45-year-old dude running his own independent business fill up 30 pairs of kicks in the back of a minivan and bring them over, right? And have like that look on his face like he's 12 again or 13 again, and talk to you about those sneakers with a level of passion that people don't really talk about anything else.
So how many pairs of sneakers do you have?
More than I care to admit.
Really?
Yeah. Way more
Is
than
it-
I care to admit, especially on record.
Is it a collection?
Especially on record, it is a collection.
Damn, this
It
suspense
is a
is really
collection.
genuine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
I
Can
just
you
feel
tell
my
us and we can
insides,
edit it out?
A few hundred.
Do you have like a room as you're walking?
I have
to
I
sneaker
have loft space, so it's just most of my apartment is just kicks with a bed and a couch somewhere in the corner. you
Wow,
know?
you're really kicking it at
But
home.
yeah,
and
I gotta
alone.
lie to the cable dude when he walks in. I gotta lie to anybody who walks in for any kind of installation in the apartment. I gotta lie and be like,
what do
yeah,
you-
I work for a sneaker store, dude.
Do you really say
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
say you were.
Yeah, at one point, I was looking for 2 bedrooms, and every
Right?
other landlord was like, "You living here alone?
Do you have like
Why
shelves
do
on
you
the wall
need
that you
Right,
can put
that's
them
exactly
on?
what I was saying.
Racks. Okay. So you
racks?
have
I
it-
keep the boxes.
the ceiling. Are you using the ceiling?
And I got storage areas. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. They're
Wow.
in
And it's
cupboard
probably-
space above the cupboards, and I know where everything is.
Do you have a favorite sneaker and
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, I do have a favorite sneaker, the Nike SB Paul Brown. That's the first. So the SB is like the skateboarding line by Nike, and I'm not a skater, but they are hands down the most comfortable things you can ever wear. They're just. I'm not going to go into the technology. They feel like pillows on feet.
Can you
That's
walk
exact.
for miles in them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like the Dunk silhouette. It's a blue and brown shoe, so it's just not pop. You know, it doesn't pop a lot. It's very subdued, very low key, under the radar. It's I think there's only 3 or 4 high tops that they made with like the thick skater tongue. Usually they do that with the low tops, and so it's a high top with a thick tongue, and that's my favorite shoe. It took a while to track it down in my size, and I've been offered like a couple times. I've been offered a fair amount of money for that. That's
Yeah.
one of only I think 3 shoes I just wouldn't part with in my collection. Anything else I'd give up for the right price tag. But yeah, those Paul Browns are not going anywhere.
Paul Brown.
And your collection is probably growing. Is it
Yeah,
growing?
it needs to
Yeah.
stop. It needs to stop because I did the math. Like if I live till 80, which is a generous like assessment. I would need to run through. I'm not gonna. Okay, fuck, because people will do the math. I don't have to buy a pair of shoes for the rest of my life. Like I really
Yeah.
don't. I cannot run through. If I stopped today, I could not run through my collection before I croak. So at this point, it's just gratuitous. It's dumb. I'm piling up sneaker debt. I owe the bank a lot of money.
Is it a very
Oh,
visceral
oh.
experience for you? The desire, of these,
Opening
gonna
the box
say.
is the greatest thing on earth.
opening the box.
Opening the box.
This is
That's
just making me
actually-
just wonder. Do you have a shoe fetish? Would
I
you
don't know
call
that
it
it's a fetish. Like, what would you describe as a fetish? I don't jerk off on. I don't get off on my shoes. I don't get hard when I open the box. I'm like, it's a dope. I don't know. I
Yeah.
love sneakers, but I spend time with my shoes. Like, I don't go out a lot. So
Yeah.
if I'm not at shows, if I'm at home, a lot of times I'll just pull out like 2-3 boxes, kind of kick back for a little bit, and look at everything. I'll take
So-
the insole out, look at the different materials.
Do you put them
if I'm-
on?
I've worn well over half. I've worn well over half my pairs, but
Oh,
But
okay.
and you haven't worn the other half.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Some of them I end up selling and then just
Okay.
buying new shoes. I mean, prices go up, prices go down a little bit. It's a
That's
little
a
bit
real
of a stock.
market.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stock thing if you know what to buy. you make a you can make a good buck or two, and then invest that in a few more pairs.
You know what? It's not fetish. It's more of an obsession.
Yeah, that's a much better. That's something I can work with. It might be a detrimental obsession at this. I started realizing how much time I put into building that collection. Like that collection, the dollar amount is ridiculous, and I think that the amount of time and effort and what I've gone through to get certain pairs is just like ridiculous. But I know I'm not alone, which makes it be all right. Like I was hunting down a pair of for whoever's listening out there. I was hunting down a pair of Jordan 14s, the last shot. My sister bought me an original pair in I want to say '98 when they dropped. She saved up all summer and bought me a pair of those shoes, and I beat them to the ground because back then we didn't used to care. We used to actually ball in our shoes, right? So 2006 comes around. There's a retro. I couldn't get my hands on it. The next one that came out, 2014, was horrible quality. I still wanted a pair of 2006s, and I tracked a dude down who I thought was in the States, but at one point in the exchange, we were trying to work out a price. He's like, nah, I live between the States and Quebec. And there was a sneaker that had dropped that he wanted. I ended up buying him that. He drove with his wife for 3.5 hours, and we did a kind of a sneaker exchange.
Wow.
Right, for that pair.
That sounds a little sexy to me, though.
Maybe, but you're talking about two dudes well into their 30s.
Still sounds sexy to me.
Spending like I had to go to the store, buy him his pair. We had to do the negotiation thing. At one point, he was like, "Yo, take a bus and meet me halfway."
Wow.
I'm like, "Dude, I'm not taking a bus for 2 hours to meet you at a pair of shoes. You know, you want to drive out here, that's cool, but I'm not going to the bus station."
What would you have
now.
done though if you went and you ended up finding out that you were meeting yourself?
That would be some crazy Twilight Zone shit. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. That would be awesome. What the fuck? I mean, in a way, I kind of was. You know, in a way, I kind of was. But it's dumb. It's a passion. I mean, there's worse things to spend your money on, I guess, ultimately. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it, and I'm like, I should invest that into something a little bit.
But it makes you happy.
Yeah, but
And
fine.
a profit as well.
A profit? Oh yeah, but not enough. Like I like shoes more than I like money. So I'm you know, it's kind of like don't get high on your
So
own
it's the
supply.
for fun
like
thing.
yeah, it's the fun, it's the passion. I know a lot about something. Like I was talking to somebody and I was guilt tripping a little bit in one of those moments where I'm like, fuck it, I'm selling my entire collection. And I was going over I wasted a lot of money on this shit. And he was like, dude, you have fun and you learned a lot. And it's true, I probably know more about shoes than I know about anything else, you know, maybe short of like basketball. Those would be the two things, which is kind of ignorant. You know, you were like, you're a deep thinker. And then I'm like, I'm right here. I'm like, yo, the two things I know most about are sneakers and basketball. You know, so yeah.
Well, you know what? You're making sneakers sound interesting. I usually wouldn't care for conversation about sneakers.
Yeah. I moved to the States when I was 3. I only spoke Arabic at the time, and my parents put me in a French school because they're French, like they're predominantly French speaking. And I just kind of picked up English from being there. Then I went and did like a little bit of British schooling a little later on in life, and then I moved to Illinois for a little bit, and that mongreled out my accent when I was in Illinois. I left Illinois after, it's weird, it only took a year. I was saying love instead of love, and at one point I had taken a number. I was standing in line, I was number 10. And somebody was walking around being like, what number are you? And I'm like, 10. I'm like, why am I talking like I'm a Southerner, you know? And it's just, but my accent kind of is always depending on...
Your reflections of people?
No, I think now it's stabilized but up until like the experiences just came, you know, like the States for a while and then like French school, but then being taught by British teachers and then British school and then being back in the Midwest. So it was constantly, and then it kind of tapered off like once I stopped those migrational movements. But like people in Montreal pick it up, like I say Montreal, and apparently it's Montreal, like it's M-U-N. And so people pick up on that really quick. You know, like, you're not from here. God damn it. But wherever I go, like if I'm in the States, they'll be like, you sound Canadian. If I speak French here, they'll be like, you sound French. If I go to France, they'll be like, you sound Canadian.
Right.
Wow.
Like, you
So are you trying to say you never feel like you fit in?
No, I rarely do, but
Yeah.
I'm not one of those woe is me people about that, because I actually do think it's a privilege. It's ill to just be a little different from everybody else.
It's
Like, I don't
awesome.
have to walk down the street and see a million motherfuckers looking just like me.
Right?
You know, like, there's something cool about that. Like, it's not the, oh my god, I don't fit in anywhere, I'm a square peg in a round hole. You know? Yeah, it's just not. I'm over that.
We
That
love
was
square
like,
pegs.
Yeah.
that was like teenage angst phase.
Yeah.
You know, that was Frank
Yeah.
Ocean.
So I'm gonna get into what we'd like to talk about most. Is their love in Habib's life?
Oh no, we're done. I shouldn't. I kind of sound curmudgeonly now. Now I sound like the 6-year-old. Like, oh my god.
It's okay.
No, I mean, that breakup that I went through, like, really shook me up. It was kind of weird. It made me reassess a lot. Like, I don't know that I'm definitely not fully over it. I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't fuck with me every day. Like, I don't feel like throwing up anymore. And that took about a year, right? Every
that's so
single day, like,
sweet.
that took about a year. Comedy the first year was very therapeutic, because a lot of the material was breakup material. A lot of it was, was some of that weird. I tried all different kinds of outlets. Like, I tried playing more ball, throw some elbows around, lifting weights, yoga, change your diet.
Wow.
I used to work. I used to have a degree in counseling. I used to be a therapist, so I
Wow.
kind of know the play. Don't romanticize. Like, I know the steps to take. And I'd been through breakups before, where you kind of just viscerally just anxiety and whatever. This was a little different, and once I got over that, stand up was very therapeutic and very important part of kind of moving past that. But now I got mics. It honestly, like, I just don't really even want to be in a relationship. Like, it's more energy that I have right now to give to somebody. It's more, it's more presence, it's more commitment that I'm able to give. Like, I will never, I know that right now, I mean, that'll change if and when I meet the person that's going to make me kind of, shift from that stance. But right now, every girl that I've kind of met since that breakup, I'm like, I wouldn't really give up a mic for you. Like, if we have a date, and I get on a show,
Yeah.
I'm either going to want to go to that show, or I'm going to be miserable on the date. Right? Like, so it's a lose-lose,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So, and that's not fair to put somebody through for what? That's 15 seconds. So you take 10 to 15 seconds here, 10 to 15 seconds there, and you get enough time for an extra joke.
Wow.
So that's kind of the process. These are things that I kind of figured out on my own. I'm kind of mad that took me like a year to figure out. I kind of feel like I should have figured that out like a little earlier, but it's whatever. I mean, I'm glad I kind of clued into it.
Wow.
So,
That's about, like a pregnancy is about 9 months,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would
roughly.
you ever?
Would I ever impregnate somebody?
Yeah. Would you ever impregnate anyone or donate your sperm?
I don't know about donating my sperm.
Yeah.
I mean, impregnate someone like what? Like willfully, or like like respond to an ad where
Well,
it's like
let's say
baby daddy wanted.
Let's say Jesse and I are trying to have a baby.
Is this the real reason for the podcast?
Who's the baby daddy? This is the baby daddy.
Took you what, like 45 minutes to get to?
Let's delete it until the end of it. So this is what we're doing.
Start with the end.
We got him in a fetal position. That's what we wanted. Oh god. I'm more into like, furry babies.
Furry babies,
Like
cats.
we're animal
Yeah.
lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't fuck with cats too much. I don't know about.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a dog person. But even dogs, I'm not trying to have animals in my living
Oh
space.
yeah.
I'm all right with them. Like, as long as they're kind of like kids. As long as they're other people's kids, that's cool. They're cute,
Yeah.
But I'm
Nothing
not trying
wrong with that.
I'm not trying to scoop the litter out.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with being an uncle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, kids.
Kids.
So impregnating.
Don't have them. No.
Yeah. No. Have I ever considered what? What?
I actually did ask that specifically. That's
You ever
funny.
considered donating sperm? Is that how this
Yeah.
started?
You said.
Okay. Do you know if you've impregnated anyone out there? Because guys sleep, when they're young.
Oh, like impregnated somebody
Accidentally.
No, I don't know. No. I mean, obviously, I would imagine. I would imagine. Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Okay.
I don't think I'm promiscuous enough. And I had this thing like bodily fluids fucking kind of, you know, it's
Gross
kind
you
of,
out?
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
it's an
like,
intimate thing.
A little bit. So,
Yeah,
I'm usually,
yeah.
I'm
You-
usually protected and strapped up more
You like
often
or
than
like
not.
things dry maybe?
Say again. Things dry. Yeah, I'm not trying to chafe. I'm not trying to. Yeah, no. I'm not trying to rub. I'm not trying to rub sandpaper up on
I don't
there.
think people like it dry.
No.
Does anybody out there like it dry?
No.
Do they exist?
No.
If you're out there and you want to contact us and let us know, please do.
Please don't.
I'm gonna Google
never
this
know.
later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
Dry pudenda.
dry what? Banana?
Pudenda. I think that is. Let's look that up. I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
I have no idea what
I don't know if I just made that word up. Yeah. Oh, pudenda. Yeah, it's the plural of pudendum, which is a person's external genitals, especially a woman's.
Wow.
I did not make that up.
Especially?
A woman's.
Wait, is it-
Especially.
That's what it
Now,
says. I'm
now
not
can I
making.
say-
I'm not making up the definition or
It's
the
not
word.
slang though. That's
No,
not
no,
slang.
it's not
Okay.
slang. It's an actual proper.
Okay, not like
it's probably
the punani.
outdated. It's probably some
See?
fucking King George the Fourth shit. But what had you asked? Just I started reading something. I started answering
yeah.
something before I read the definition.
I can't remember.
I don't remember how we got to pudenda.
It was dry intercourse.
it was dry
Oh,
pudenda.
that's right.
Yeah,
Dry pudenda.
Okay.
Yeah, or a dry pudendum, apparently.
Have you read the dictionary?
No, I've not read the dictionary.
Because there are people out there
No,
who read the
I'm not
dictionary.
Yeah, as a novel.
Maybe in 10 years when my level of like psychosis compels me to do that, you know, and tells you, I'm like, oh, fuck these people, fuck all of them, stay home, read all dictionaries, and then start ordering encycloedias.
Start
Hey,
reading
it's great for
dictionaries
Scrabble.
upside down.
Yeah, I hate Scrabble. I fucking hate Scrabble.
No,
because
I
you'll
love
come up with
Scrabble.
you'll come up with the illest word. You'll be like,
Yeah,
yo,
you
I'm
make it
using
up.
like 5 of my letters, and you'll get like, you know, whatever, 41 points. You'll be like,
Yeah.
this was awesome, and then somebody will just write so. And then they'll take
like
all of
10
your
points,
points and then
yeah.
3 extra ones, you know? And I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm like, you didn't earn that shit, you know?
You end up resenting.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
players.
I'm like, you don't have to be smart. You just have to have the S's. That's all you have to do in Scrabble is
all
get
about
the
luck.
It
S's.
gets to that. All you have is essence.
Yeah.
Or,
You're just like, "Sss."
Can you speak French for us?
No, I can't speak French for you. That's like dance. That's like dance, monkey dance. Speak French.
can you teach
Like
us
here's
any
the
Arabic
slot
words?
where you put a quarter, and then I just speak French. If you pull the tongue, can I speak Arabic?
Or any words that we can use in a really cool situation.
Okay, shukran.
Shukra.
Yes, thank you.
I've heard that.
It's weird because like in English you'll say fuck you, right? It's just like it's a word, whatever. It denotes an action. In Arabic, like the translation to that is literally like my dick in your mom's pussy, or my dick in your sister's pussy.
That's obviously like
or
an
my,
insult.
You know, yeah.
Would you say that to someone kind of like jokingly? Like,
Because no,
like,
that
and,
would
you
be
know,
no.
like,
Now you might just say your mom's pussy. That's also something that we say.
yeah, usually we don't want people talking about our mother's
Yeah.
vaginas.
A dope sub is if you know somebody doesn't have a sister, you could just say your sister's pussy. You know, which just seems like a mouthful in English, but like in
Yeah.
in Arabic it'd be kasihtak, you know, so it's alright. I've heard somebody say to somebody else jokingly though, like, I want to line dry your mother's pussy on the balcony and make it rain dicks.
What?
Right? Like we get poetic with it.
French rapping, are you into it?
No.
No?
No,
I used to
I
love
like-
listening
I
to
hate
French
it.
rap. I thought
I
it was
hate
so
it.
sexy.
I mean, they make the production is good. There are some groups that I'll listen to, like I Am is dope, and I'll listen to that, you know. I think it was like Les Chevaliers du Micro d'Argent, or like the second
Yeah,
album,
see?
like
Yeah.
the double album. See, I slipped it in. They're almost like the French Wu-Tang, but they're really dope in their own regard. Like it's almost an unfair comparison to lump them as, you know, being like when they are their own, you know, when they are their own artists. It's something that I appreciated and I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't know.
Do it again.
No, do it again. Do it, you know.
Sometimes I feel like I've time traveled. Like I honestly, like someone brought up VHS on, you know, last night. I still
Yeah.
have VHS.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, what happened? Like my VHS, it still works.
What do you
I'm
have
not-
on tape?
some what do you call it? Guilty pleasures.
Okay.
I
What
don't know.
porn- what porn
Breakfast
flicks
at
you-
no,
okay.
actually, no, I don't have any porn on VHS. anymore.
Anymore? What happened?
Did I ever? Yeah, I think I had one VHS, and then it transitioned to DVD.
Okay.
You know?
And now it's just.
And
on
now
the
it's
internet.
just in my mind.
Not
Yeah.
even online.
And online.
Oh,
You
and
know, sometimes
online.
I'd rather use my imagination than watch online.
Dude, old school.
Yeah.
old school.
Well,
I
also,
love my
like, sometimes I'm like, I
imagination.
can't find exactly what I'm looking for, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
What kind of weird, twisted, fucking demented fantasies do you have that don't exist online?
You know what? Honestly, like when
Like
if
how-
I'm watching it, like if there's like, I don't like any
did
kind
not
of
make a snuff
phoniness. I
film
hate
for this.
fake sexual expression. So
Yeah.
like most of that you're gonna see in pornography.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see a lot.
Wait,
of
it's fake?
But you know, like just if something's too much, like bad acting.
Yeah.
It's bad acting.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
My favorite, I don't watch porn. Oh, Jesus, no. No. I watched a documentary about porn that made me feel really weird. Like, it
Yeah.
actually gave me anxiety. I'm like, yo, I should never masturbate to this shit again.
Oh my God,
And
I think
that
I
lasted
saw
like
that
12
one.
hours. I can't even remember what it was called. I was like, it was one of those 4 o'clock in the morning, like just
If you
half
ever-
awake, half
Why-
asleep.
Why
But
it's
it,
bad for you?
no, they had followed like three or four starlets that were just like breaking into the industry and you know, and show you the behind the scenes, whatever. And one of them, I was like, oh shit, I've tricked off to you. That's you.
You know, if you really
but-
want to like disturb yourself,
Yeah.
online dead porn stars. There's so many of them.
What do you mean?
There's like video footage, like videos
them.
of like this person's dead, this person,
Okay.
and of why they're dead.
Oh shit.
It's a big tragedy. Like it's. Yeah, I was addicted for a while. It's like, and most of them are like from the past. Like, I don't know if there's any current, but I'm like, oh shit, like really tragic deaths.
So what they tell you how they died?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, some of it's like drug addict, like
Right.
drug overdose,
Right.
lots of suicides.
Yeah, it's a weird
lots of-
industry. It's a
lots of
weird
AIDS-
industry.
AIDS,
Yeah, it's a
AIDS-
weird industry.
Any
that-
murders?
Yes, murders. Yeah. Oh my God, that would be awesome actually to see you do
That would
that
be
in
pretty
Alabama.
crazy.
I might not make it out. Might be one of those. There's a road going in. There is no road going out. So when I went into his office, you know, I was like, oh man, fucking, you know, it's like, what's your problem? And then I was like, dude, the guy's being, you know, he's being a jerk. He's like, listen, this dude is from like this little town, blah blah blah. You know, if you ever heard of it? I'm like, nah. He pulls out a map. It's like, it's right here. I'm like, all right, cool. So what's your point? He's like, look at the map. I'm like, all right. There's a road going in. Yeah. He's like, do you see a road exiting? Oh my God. I'm like, holy fuck, you're right. He's like, this dude's village is a dead end, man. Like, just fucking.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that actually existed. So there actually are literally dead end towns. How are you known when you're doing your comedy? Is it?
I mean, I go by my government name. You know, I go
Habib.
by Habib. But
Okay.
with the H dot S dot, it's just I don't want students googling me. I didn't do like written material, but I tried to test some jokes
With
in
your
class
students.
before bringing it to the
There's
stage.
nothing wrong with that.
But it felt kind of forced. And then this year, I did the first lesson, and then this student walks up, and she's like, "So, is stand-up going to be a big part of the class?" That's a random fucking question. Like, why would you ask that out the blue? I'm like, why? Do you know that like I do stand-up? And she's like, yeah, we all know.
Oh my God.
And it was one of the students. There's 2 of the students were at a show. And I ended up doing some crowd work with them. So I had H space. Most people don't fucking understand what it is. Most people are like, what the
don't?
fuck is
They don't
Hadat Sadat? And I'm like, that's not what it is. There's clearly a space.
Is there a
between-
space on Facebook?
No. Well, here's
Okay.
what happened. So I had the space.
Oh, and they take it out.
And then Facebook sends me a message. It's like, yeah, you got to prove your identity, dog. And you know, like, send us proof of identity. And I tried some bullshit, man. I signed like a piece of paper. I was like, yeah, I tried uploading some bullshit document, and they suspended my account. And I'm like, yo, it's a stupid idea. Just again, like we were talking about the dumb shit that I do. So I hollered at my friend. I was like, yo, man, can you Photoshop my passport? Can you just write like H dot S dot is my fucking government name on the front end and the back end? And he did it.
Yeah.
And he kind of blurred the passport number out, but
Yeah.
you know, he did it, and I sent it in. And I'm like, holy fuck, what did I do to take my passport away? I'm like, I'm going to jail over forging a fucking passport. Fuck. And then they were like, cool, that's your name. And apparently I can't ever change my name until I give them proof of like whatever. Or I have like a 6-year window. So I'm like H.S. forever. I've only been on Facebook since I started comedy. Like that shit is, I thought I'd hate it. I hate it way more than I ever thought. I don't know. I don't do the plug yourself very well. If you find me, you find me. You know?
A very colorful way of expressing yourself.
I know.
Oh, thank
it's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, now I'm all big-headed, you know, fucking my ego's about to burst. You're listening to the Strangers We Know podcast. This is Habib Siam from Montreal, signing off. I don't know, let's not jinx it just yet, you know, there's a lot. I don't know, I'm one of those dudes that always expects the worst. I'm like, when is it all gonna come tumbling down? So, yeah, listen to the podcast, or thanks for listening to the podcast, depending on where this is going in the podcast.